The Vault Mindset, written and published by Rich Audiobooks. True wealth isn't just earned, it's protected, preserved, and multiplied through mindset. The Vault Mindset is about thinking like the ultra-rich, secure, strategic, and unshakably grounded in value. While most people leak energy, doubt their worth, or chase fast money, those with a Vault Mindset play the long game. They move differently. They believe differently. They don't just make money, they keep it, grow it, and build legacy with it. So ask yourself, is your mind a vault or an open door? This book is your upgrade, a mental stronghold built on discipline, clarity, power, and unbreakable belief in what you're worth. Because once you lock into the Vault Mindset, wealth stops slipping through your fingers and starts building behind your name. Chapter 1. Protect before you project. The wealthiest people share a common trait that rarely makes headlines. They are masters of protection, not projection. While the world fixates on the visible trappings of success, true wealth builders operate from a defensive position first, understanding that protecting assets is more crucial than displaying them. Consider the vault itself. Before it can store anything of value, it must be constructed with impenetrable walls, multiple locks, and sophisticated security systems. Your wealth-building journey demands the same approach. The foundation of lasting wealth isn't in rapid accumulation, but in creating unbreachable systems that preserve what you acquire. This means developing a protective mindset that questions, analyzes, and safeguards before making financial moves. Many aspiring wealth builders fall into the trap of focusing solely on income generation while neglecting protection mechanisms. They're like someone who continuously pours water into a leaking bucket, wondering why it never fills. The most devastating financial losses often occur not from failure to earn, but from failure to protect. Whether through inadequate insurance, lack of legal structures, or exposed investments, the absence of protection can erase years of financial progress in moments. The protective mindset extends beyond obvious financial safeguards. It encompasses relationship management, information sharing, and decision-making processes. Each person you allow into your financial circle becomes either a potential asset or liability. Each piece of information you share about your wealth becomes a tool that others might use for or against your interests. Every financial decision you make either strengthens or weakens your protective barrier. Building this protective mindset requires a fundamental shift in how you view wealth. Instead of asking, "How can I make more money?" start with, "How can I protect what I already have?" This shift changes everything from how you structure your business dealings to how you approach everyday financial decisions. It transforms casual conversations into strategic communications and impulse purchases into calculated investments. Protection also means understanding that not all threats to wealth are external. Often, our own behaviors, emotions, and psychological patterns pose the greatest risk to our financial security. The protective mindset requires honest self-assessment and the implementation of personal guardrails. These might include waiting periods before major purchases, regular financial reviews, or trusted advisors who have permission to question your decisions. The digital age has made protection even more crucial. Information moves at lightning speed, and financial privacy has become increasingly rare. The protective mindset must now extend to digital security, online presence management, and information sharing protocols. Every social media post, every online transaction, and every digital footprint becomes part of your financial security profile. The lesser-known aspect of the protective mindset is its role in opportunity assessment. When you prioritize protection, you naturally become more discerning about opportunities. You develop a sharper eye for risk and a better understanding of true value. This doesn't mean becoming risk-averse. Rather, it means ensuring that when you do take risks, they're calculated and aligned with your protective framework. The ultimate irony of the protective mindset is that it actually enables greater wealth accumulation. When you're confident in your protective systems, you can move more boldly in your wealth-building initiatives. You can take calculated risks because you know your foundation is secure. You can pursue aggressive growth strategies because you've already established fallback positions and safety nets. Real wealth builders understand that protection isn't just about preserving what you have, it's about creating the conditions for sustainable growth. They know that every dollar protected is more valuable than a dollar earned because protected wealth compounds over time. They recognize that the quiet work of building protective systems, while less glamorous than chasing the next big opportunity, is what ultimately determines their financial destiny. Chapter 2. Delay to Dominate Tomorrow. The path to lasting wealth is paved with moments of conscious restraint. Every time you choose to delay an immediate pleasure, you're not just saving money, you're investing in your future dominance. This mental lock requires you to fundamentally reshape your relationship with time and reward, understanding that the most significant returns often come to those who master the art of waiting. Consider the classic marshmallow experiment, where children who could resist eating one marshmallow for 15 minutes were rewarded with 2. Decades later, researchers discovered these same children had better life outcomes, including higher net worth. This simple study reveals a profound truth. Your ability to delay gratification is directly correlated with your capacity to build and maintain wealth. The modern world has engineered instant gratification into nearly every aspect of our lives. One-click purchases, same-day delivery, and buy now, pay later schemes have created a culture of immediate consumption. This environment makes the delay mindset even more powerful as a differentiator. While others succumb to the temptation of immediate purchases, those who can pause and postpone gain an insurmountable advantage. This advantage compounds over time. When you delay buying the latest smartphone, luxury car, or designer clothes, you're not just saving the purchase price, you're preserving capital that can be invested and multiplied. A $1,000 0-cent impulse purchase avoided and invested at a modest 7% return becomes $2,000 0 cents in 10 years. The true cost of immediate gratification isn't just what you spend today, it's the future wealth you surrender. Developing this delay muscle requires strategic practice. Start with small deferrals. Wait 24 hours before any non-essential purchase over $100, 0 cents. Extend this to 48 hours, then a week, then a month. As your delay muscle strengthens, you'll notice a shift in how you evaluate purchases. The initial emotional surge of wanting something begins to fade, replaced by rational analysis of value and timing. The delay mindset extends beyond material purchases. It applies to career moves, business decisions, and investment choices. Sometimes the most powerful action is non-acting, waiting to start a business until you've built adequate savings, holding off on an investment until market conditions improve, or staying in a job until you've gained crucial experience. However, delay isn't about perpetual postponement. It's about strategic timing. The goal is to delay gratification until you've created a position of strength. This might mean waiting to buy a home until you can make a larger down payment, or postponing a business launch until you've built a stronger network. The key is understanding that temporary discomfort or restraint creates future leverage. The most successful practitioners of the delay mindset don't view it as deprivation. Instead, they see each delay as an investment in their future dominance. They understand that every time they choose to wait, they're not just saving resources, they're building the mental strength that separates the wealthy from the wanting. This perspective transforms delay from a burden into a competitive advantage. Those who master this mental lock begin to experience a profound shift in their relationship with time and money. They stop seeing delay as sacrifice and start recognizing it as power. The ability to wait patiently while others rush in, to hold slowly while others panic, to build slowly while others seek shortcuts, these are the hallmarks of those who ultimately dominate their financial futures. The delay mindset becomes self-reinforcing. Each successful instance of delayed gratification strengthens your confidence in the strategy. As you watch your wealth grow through patient, disciplined action, your ability to delay becomes more natural. You begin to automatically evaluate opportunities through the lens of strategic timing rather than immediate reward. Chapter 3. Wealth whispers noiselessly. True wealth moves like a shadow across the financial landscape, silent and steady in its progression. Those who understand this principle recognize that the loudest voices in the room often belong to those with the least substance behind their words. The age-old wisdom that money talks has been misinterpreted. Real wealth doesn't need to speak at all. Consider the behavior of genuinely wealthy people versus those attempting to project wealth. The latter often engage in what financial psychologists call peacocking, the conspicuous display of supposed financial success through constant discussion of investments, opportunities, and material acquisitions. This behavior not only reveals a fundamental insecurity but also creates unnecessary vulnerability in one's wealth-building journey. The power of silence in wealth accumulation manifests in multiple ways. When you maintain privacy about your financial moves, you retain the ability to act without external pressure or judgment. This freedom from social scrutiny allows for more objective decision-making and reduces the likelihood of making choices based on others' expectations rather than sound financial logic. The marketplace itself demonstrates this principle. The most successful investors and wealth builders often operate in relative obscurity, making calculated moves while others broadcast their intentions. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway exemplifies this approach: quiet acquisition of value, minimal public commentary on specific investments, and a focus on long-term results rather than short-term attention. Social media has amplified the challenge of maintaining financial privacy. The constant pressure to share success stories, investment wins, and lifestyle upgrades creates a false economy of validation. Each premature share diminishes the power of compound privacy, the ability to build momentum without interference or resistance from external forces. Those who master the art of wealth whispers understand that financial success leaves clues rather than announcements. They recognize that true influence comes from results, not rhetoric. When others notice your success, let it be through the natural evidence of your achievements rather than your own proclamations. The noise-to-wealth ratio often operates in reverse proportion. The more someone talks about making money, the less likely they are to be accumulating significant wealth. This phenomenon extends beyond individual behavior to business practices, investment strategies, and wealth preservation techniques. The most effective methods often operate below the radar, away from public scrutiny and commentary. Strategic silence also provides competitive advantages. When others don't know your position, they can't counter your moves or exploit your vulnerabilities. This principle applies equally to business negotiations, investment decisions, and personal financial planning. The ability to maintain operational privacy while executing your financial strategy creates a buffer zone where wealth can grow undisturbed. The practice of quiet wealth building requires discipline and a shift in perspective. Instead of seeking validation through sharing, focus on validation through results. Rather than announcing your financial goals, channel that energy into executable actions. The satisfaction of achievement will far outweigh the temporary pleasure of proclamation. Developing this mindset involves creating personal protocols for financial privacy. Establish clear boundaries about what financial information you share, with whom, and under what circumstances. Learn to deflect questions about money matters gracefully while maintaining professional and personal relationships. Your financial journey is a private expedition, not a public performance. The wealth that whispers grows stronger through its silence. It builds foundations rather than facades, substance rather than show. In the realm of lasting wealth, those who understand this principle find themselves with something far more valuable than attention. They find themselves with results that speak volumes without saying a word. Chapter 4. Say no more than you say yes. The path to wealth is paved with refusals. Every yes you utter comes with a hidden cost, whether it's time, money, energy, or opportunity. The wealthy understand that their most powerful wealth-building tool isn't their ability to seize opportunities, but their discipline to decline them. Consider your financial resources as a fortress with limited entry points. Each time you say yes to a request, investment, or purchase, you're essentially opening a gate. The more gates you open, the more vulnerable your fortress becomes. This vulnerability isn't just about money leaving your accounts. It's about the dilution of focus, the spreading of resources too thin, and the countless small commitments that eventually erode your financial foundation. The mathematics of refusal is straightforward but often overlooked. If you say yes to 80% of opportunities and no to 20%, you're likely operating at a deficit. The truly wealthy typically invert this ratio, saying no to 80% or more of what comes their way. This selective approach ensures that when they do say yes, they have the full force of their resources behind that decision. They're not just making choices, they're making concentrated bets on carefully vetted opportunities. Wealth builders must develop what I call the refusal muscle. Like any muscle, it strengthens with use. Start with small decisions, declining unnecessary purchases, saying no to time-consuming commitments that don't align with your financial goals, or passing on investments that don't meet your strict criteria. Each refusal builds confidence and clarity about what truly deserves your resources. The challenge lies not in the act of saying no, but in developing the discernment to know when to say it. This requires a clear framework for decision-making. Before saying yes to any financial commitment, ask yourself, does this align with my long-term wealth strategy? Will this commitment drain resources from more important goals? Is this a genuine opportunity or a distraction disguised as one? The more rigorous your questioning, the more valuable your eventual yes becomes. Many struggle with saying no because they fear missing out or offending others. However, the wealthy understand that every yes to something mediocre is a no to something exceptional. They've learned to deliver their refusals with grace and professionalism, often leaving doors open for future opportunities that better align with their criteria. The key is to refuse the opportunity, not the relationship. The power of no extends beyond obvious financial decisions. It applies to time commitments, business partnerships, investment opportunities, and even social obligations that could indirectly impact your wealth-building journey. Each refusal should be viewed as an investment in focus, a declaration that your resources are reserved for opportunities that truly warrant them. Consider successful investors who review hundreds of opportunities before making a single investment. Their high refusal rate isn't about being negative, it's about maintaining standards that ensure when they do invest, they're positioning themselves for significant returns. This selective approach creates a compound effect. Each carefully chosen yes builds upon previous successes, while avoided pitfalls preserve capital for future opportunities. The wealthy also understand that saying no becomes easier when you have a clear yes criteria. Develop specific, written standards for what deserves your resources. These standards should reflect not just financial metrics, but also alignment with your values, time constraints, and long-term vision. When you know exactly what you're looking for, refusing everything else becomes automatic rather than agonizing. As you build your wealth, your ability to say no will be tested constantly. The more successful you become, the more opportunities will present themselves. Without a strong refusal muscle, this abundance of options can become overwhelming and ultimately destructive. Every financial empire is built not just on smart decisions, but on the countless opportunities declined in favor of focus and clarity. Chapter 5. Keep your goals secret, your actions loud. The most powerful goals often flourish in silence. While the modern world encourages us to broadcast every aspiration and achievement across social media platforms, true wealth builders understand the profound power of keeping their ambitions private. This isn't about being secretive for secrecy's sake. It's about protecting the delicate ecosystem where genuine success takes root. When you share your financial goals prematurely, you trigger a peculiar psychological phenomenon. The act of announcing your intentions creates a false sense of progress, leading your brain to experience a portion of the satisfaction you'd get from actual achievement. This premature reward reduces your motivation to pursue the real work required to reach your objective. It's like letting air out of a balloon before it has the chance to soar. The energy that could have propelled you forward dissipates into empty words. Instead of talking about your wealth-building journey, channel that energy into tangible actions. Let your work ethic speak volumes while your words remain measured and few. This approach creates a powerful asymmetry. Others see the results of your dedication without knowing the full scope of your ambitions. This dynamic not only protects your goals from external interference, but also builds an aura of quiet competence that becomes a self-reinforcing cycle of success. Silence surrounding your goals also serves as a shield against the well-meaning but often misguided input of others. When you keep your financial objectives private, you prevent them from being diluted by others' opinions, fears, or limited perspectives. This mental space allows you to pursue your vision with clarity and conviction, unencumbered by the need to explain, defend, or justify your choices to those who might not understand your long-term strategy. Actions, however, should reverberate loudly through consistent execution and measurable results. This means showing up early, delivering beyond expectations, continuously improving your skills, and maintaining unwavering professional standards. These tangible demonstrations of commitment create far more impact than any verbal declaration of intent. They build the foundation of your reputation while your private goals guide your direction. This approach also provides protection against market volatility and competitive forces. When others can't accurately gauge your position or predict your next move, you maintain a strategic advantage. This information asymmetry becomes particularly valuable in negotiations, business dealings, and investment opportunities. Your ability to move quietly toward your objectives while others broadcast their every step gives you the freedom to operate on your own terms. Consider the parallel between wealth building and martial arts training. A skilled practitioner doesn't announce their techniques before executing them. They simply act with precision and purpose. Similarly, your financial moves should be deliberate and discreet, revealed only through their successful completion. This discipline of quiet execution combined with visible results creates a powerful formula for sustainable wealth accumulation. The practice of keeping goals private while actions speak volumes requires internal accountability. Without external validation, you must develop robust self-monitoring systems and personal metrics for success. This might include detailed tracking of your progress, regular self-assessment sessions, and clear benchmarks that keep you aligned with your objectives. These private accountability measures often prove more effective than public declarations because they focus on substance rather than appearance. The real power of this approach becomes evident over time as your accumulated actions create undeniable momentum. While others expend energy talking about their plans, you'll have already laid the groundwork for significant achievements. Your silence becomes a source of strength, allowing you to focus entirely on execution rather than explanation. In the realm of wealth building, this combination of quiet ambition and loud action creates an unstoppable force that moves you steadily toward your financial goals. Chapter 6. Security beats splurging. The most successful wealth builders understand a fundamental truth. True financial freedom comes not from the ability to spend lavishly, but from the knowledge that your wealth is secure. This security-first mindset represents a dramatic shift from how most people think about money and success. While popular culture celebrates conspicuous consumption and immediate gratification, those who build lasting wealth prioritize creating layers of financial security that protect and nurture their assets. Security in wealth building operates on multiple levels. At its foundation lies the essential practice of maintaining adequate emergency funds and insurance coverage. But real financial security goes far deeper, encompassing investment diversification, multiple income streams, and strategic risk management. This multi-layered approach creates a fortress-like structure around your wealth, allowing you to weather economic storms while continuing to grow your assets. The psychological benefits of prioritizing security over splurging cannot be overstated. When you know your fundamental needs are protected, you gain the mental clarity and emotional stability to make better financial decisions. This security-first mindset eliminates the anxiety that often drives poor financial choices, replacing fear-based reactions with calculated, strategic moves. You become less susceptible to market volatility and more capable of maintaining your long-term investment strategy. Ironically, maintaining strong financial security actually enables greater risk-taking in appropriate circumstances. When your foundation is solid, you can pursue opportunities that others might find too daunting. This paradox, that security enables calculated risk, is a crucial understanding that separates successful wealth builders from those who remain financially vulnerable. You can afford to take bigger swings in business or investment opportunities precisely because you've built layers of protection beneath you. The splurging mindset, in contrast, creates a perpetual cycle of financial vulnerability. Each unnecessary expenditure not only depletes current resources, but also sacrifices future security and opportunity. The momentary pleasure of a luxury purchase pales in comparison to the lasting comfort of knowing your financial future is protected. This isn't about living in deprivation. It's about understanding the true value proposition between temporary indulgence and lasting security. This security-first approach requires developing a new relationship with money. Instead of viewing wealth as a means to acquire more things, see it as a tool for building stability and creating opportunities. This shift transforms how you evaluate spending decisions. Rather than asking, "Can I afford this?" the question becomes, "Does this enhance or diminish my financial security?" This simple change in perspective often leads to dramatically different choices. The practice of choosing security over splurging also builds momentum over time. Each decision to reinforce your financial security rather than indulge in unnecessary spending strengthens your wealth-building foundation. This compounds not just financially, but psychologically, as you develop greater confidence in your ability to make sound financial choices. The satisfaction of watching your security grow becomes far more rewarding than any temporary pleasure from splurging. Creating this security-focused mindset requires regular examination of your spending patterns and financial decisions. Every purchase, investment, or financial commitment should be evaluated through the lens of how it affects your overall security position. This doesn't mean never enjoying your wealth. It means ensuring that any enjoyment doesn't compromise the robust financial security you've built. By maintaining this discipline, you create a sustainable approach to wealth building that can withstand economic uncertainties while continuing to grow stronger over time. Chapter 7. Control your mind, control your money. The relationship between your thoughts and your wealth runs deeper than most realize. Every financial decision you make, from the mundane to the mundane, originates in the complex circuitry of your mind. Your thoughts about money, success, and wealth form an invisible architecture that shapes your financial reality more powerfully than any investment strategy or business plan. Consider how your mental state influences your daily financial choices. When you're anxious, you might make impulsive purchases to soothe your emotions. When you're overconfident, you could take unnecessary risks with your investments. When you're fearful, you might miss opportunities that require calculated boldness. These mental states act as filters through which all your financial decisions must pass. And, like any filter, they can either clarify or distort your judgment. The wealthy understand that mastering their psychology is as crucial as mastering market dynamics. They recognize that their greatest enemy isn't external market forces, but their own cognitive biases and emotional reactions. They develop what psychologists call metacognition, the ability to observe and regulate their own thinking patterns. This skill allows them to step back from immediate emotional responses and make decisions based on rational analysis rather than fleeting feelings. Money triggers some of our most primitive emotional responses: fear, greed, shame, and pride. These emotions evolved to help our ancestors survive in a world of scarcity, but they can be destructive in modern financial markets. The key is not to eliminate these emotions, that's impossible, but to develop the ability to acknowledge them without being controlled by them. Think of your emotional responses as data points rather than directives. When fear arises during a market downturn, recognize it as information about your risk tolerance rather than a command to sell everything. Successful wealth builders cultivate specific mental habits that support sound financial decision-making. They practice deliberate calm during turbulent markets, maintaining their long-term perspective when others panic. They develop the discipline to question their assumptions, especially when they feel most certain about an investment thesis. They train themselves to seek out contradictory evidence rather than just confirming information that supports their existing beliefs. The most effective way to strengthen your financial mind is through daily practice. Start by monitoring your thoughts about money throughout the day. Notice when you feel scarcity or abundance, when you make decisions from fear versus confidence, when you're tempted to act impulsively versus thoughtfully. This awareness alone will begin to shift your relationship with money. Building mental resilience also requires exposure to financial stress in controlled doses. Just as athletes build physical strength through progressive resistance, you can build financial fortitude by gradually increasing your comfort with uncertainty and risk. Start with small challenges, perhaps holding an investment through minor market fluctuations, and progressively work up to maintaining composure during major market events. Your mind is the vault where your wealth begins. Every dollar you earn or lose first exists as a thought, a decision, an emotion. By developing strong mental discipline, you create an internal environment where wealth can grow and flourish. You become less reactive to market noise, more attuned to genuine opportunities, and better equipped to make decisions that align with your long-term financial goals. The mastery of your mind becomes the master key that unlocks sustainable wealth creation and preservation. Controlling your mind isn't about achieving perfect calm or eliminating all financial anxiety. It's about developing the capacity to act wisely despite emotional turbulence. It's about building an internal compass that keeps you oriented toward your financial true north, regardless of external conditions. When you truly understand that your financial reality is a projection of your mental landscape, you begin to treat psychological development as the fundamental investment it really is. Chapter 8. Never render your full hand. In the world of wealth building, information is power, and discretion is your greatest ally. The most successful wealth accumulators understand that revealing their complete financial position, strategy, or capabilities rarely serves their best interests. This principle extends beyond mere privacy. It's about maintaining strategic advantage in every financial interaction. Consider a poker player who reveals their cards mid-game. Not only does this eliminate their ability to maneuver effectively, but it also gives opponents precise information about how to counter their position. Your financial journey operates under similar dynamics. When you disclose your complete financial situation, including assets, strategies, and future plans, you inadvertently create vulnerabilities that others can exploit. This discretion applies across all aspects of wealth building. In negotiations, revealing your maximum budget immediately weakens your position. When discussing investments, sharing your entire portfolio exposes you to unnecessary scrutiny and potentially harmful advice. Even in casual conversations, discussing your complete financial picture can alter relationships and attract unwanted attention or requests for money. The practice of selective disclosure serves multiple purposes. First, it maintains your flexibility to pivot strategies without external pressure or judgment. When others don't know your full capabilities, you retain the freedom to make decisions based purely on your assessment rather than managing others' expectations or opinions. This autonomy is crucial for executing long-term wealth-building strategies that might appear unconventional to others. Additionally, keeping your full hand private helps protect against both deliberate and unintentional threats to your wealth. Financial predators often target those who openly display their assets or capabilities. Even well-meaning friends and family members might unconsciously adjust their behavior or expectations when they know your complete financial situation, potentially straining relationships or leading to uncomfortable requests for support. Think of your wealth-building journey as a chess game where your opponent can only see your moves after you make them, not your planned strategy. This approach allows you to maintain tactical advantages while still participating fully in necessary financial interactions. You can share what's relevant for specific situations without exposing your entire financial position. The art of partial disclosure requires developing judgment about what information to share and when. In professional settings, you might need to demonstrate capability without revealing specific numbers. In personal relationships, you can discuss financial principles and general approaches without detailing your wealth. This selective transparency maintains your privacy while still allowing for meaningful financial discussions and negotiations. However, this principle doesn't advocate for complete secrecy or dishonesty. Instead, it suggests thoughtful curation of financial information sharing. Maintain detailed records and comprehensive understanding of your financial position for your own use, while carefully managing what you reveal to others. This approach includes being strategic with professional advisors, sharing only what's necessary for them to provide relevant guidance. Your wealth-building strategy is a personal roadmap that doesn't require external validation or understanding. By maintaining privacy around your complete financial position, you create a buffer zone that protects your wealth-building efforts from external pressures and potential threats. This privacy becomes increasingly valuable as your wealth grows, allowing you to operate with the freedom and flexibility necessary for long-term financial success. The practice of never sharing your full hand extends beyond financial matters to include your capabilities, connections, and future plans. This comprehensive approach to information management creates a protective shield around your wealth-building efforts, allowing you to execute your strategy with minimal interference while maintaining the relationships and professional connections necessary for continued growth. Chapter 9. Emotional discipline is wealth discipline. Emotions are the invisible strings that pull at our financial decisions, often leading us down paths that compromise our long-term wealth. The most successful wealth builders understand that mastering their emotional responses to money is just as crucial as mastering investment strategies or business operations. Every financial decision carries an emotional weight. Fear can prevent us from making necessary investments, while greed can push us into reckless speculation. Excitement might drive impulsive purchases, and anxiety could lead to panic selling during market downturns. These emotional triggers create a complex web that entangles our rational decision-making abilities, making emotional discipline the cornerstone of wealth preservation. The relationship between emotions and wealth extends beyond individual transactions. Our upbringing, past experiences, and social conditioning all shape our emotional responses to money. Some people grew up in households where money was a source of constant stress, leading to a scarcity mindset that prevents them from seeing opportunities. Others might have witnessed financial success come easily, potentially breeding overconfidence that leads to poor risk management. True emotional discipline in wealth building requires a deep understanding of your personal emotional triggers. When markets plunge, do you feel an overwhelming urge to sell everything? When friends show off new purchases, does social pressure push you toward unnecessary spending? These reactions aren't character flaws, they're natural human responses. The key is acknowledging them and developing systems to manage them effectively. Successful wealth builders create emotional circuit breakers, predetermined rules and procedures that kick in when emotions run high. This might mean implementing a mandatory 48-hour waiting period before making any investment decision over a certain dollar amount. It could involve having a trusted advisor who must sign off on major financial moves, providing an objective perspective when emotions cloud judgment. The practice of emotional discipline also means maintaining equilibrium during both success and failure. Many fortunes have been lost because initial success led to emotional overconfidence and increasingly risky behavior. Similarly, temporary setbacks have driven countless investors to abandon sound strategies at exactly the wrong moment. The ability to maintain steady emotional states through these ups and downs is what distinguishes lasting wealth from temporary gain. Physical discipline and emotional discipline are intimately connected in wealth building. Regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management techniques all contribute to better emotional control. When you're physically and mentally balanced, you're better equipped to make rational financial decisions. This holistic approach to emotional discipline creates a foundation for sustainable wealth management. Social relationships play a crucial role in emotional discipline. Surrounding yourself with people who share your financial values and respect your wealth-building journey can provide emotional stability. These relationships act as buffers against the social pressures that often lead to emotional spending or investing decisions. They create an environment where maintaining financial discipline feels natural rather than forced. Building emotional discipline is a gradual process that requires constant awareness and regular practice. It means recognizing that every financial decision has both a logical and emotional component. By acknowledging and preparing for the emotional aspects of wealth building, you create a more resilient financial foundation. This emotional fortitude becomes your shield against the many forces that threaten to separate you from your hard-earned wealth. The ultimate test of emotional discipline comes not in how you handle failure, but in how you manage success. When wealth begins to accumulate, maintaining the same disciplined approach that got you there becomes increasingly challenging. The ability to stay grounded, maintain perspective, and continue making rational decisions even as your wealth grows is what transforms temporary success into lasting prosperity. Chapter 10. Think long game, move daily. The greatest wealth builders throughout history share one fundamental characteristic. They understand the delicate balance between long-term vision and immediate action. This dynamic interplay between future focus and present movement creates a powerful momentum that compounds over time, much like interest in a well-managed investment account. The long-game mindset requires us to zoom out and view our financial journey as a decades-long endeavor rather than a series of short-term wins. When we embrace this perspective, we naturally make decisions that align with sustainable wealth building rather than quick gains. We begin to see how today's small actions create ripples that transform into waves of opportunity years down the line. Yet the trap many fall into is believing that long-term thinking justifies passive waiting. This couldn't be further from the truth. The long game demands daily commitment, consistent execution, and relentless forward motion. Every day presents multiple opportunities to move closer to our wealth goals, whether through learning, networking, optimizing expenses, or identifying investment opportunities. These daily actions, while seemingly insignificant in isolation, form the building blocks of lasting wealth. Consider the metaphor of building a cathedral. The architects and builders of these magnificent structures often worked knowing they wouldn't live to see the final result. Yet each day they laid stones, refined plans, and made incremental progress. Their daily dedication, guided by a grand vision, created monuments that have lasted centuries. Your wealth-building journey requires the same architectural mindset. Each financial decision, investment choice, and business move represents another stone in your financial cathedral. The daily moves don't always need to be dramatic or revolutionary. Sometimes it's as simple as reviewing your spending patterns, reading about market trends, or making a strategic connection. Other days might involve bigger moves like negotiating a contract, restructuring an investment portfolio, or launching a new revenue stream. The key is maintaining forward momentum while never losing sight of the broader picture. This dual focus also helps protect against both short-term mistakes and long-term drift. When we're anchored in our long-term vision, we're less likely to make impulsive decisions based on market volatility or emotional reactions. Simultaneously, our commitment to daily action prevents us from becoming complacent or falling into the trap of endless planning without execution. The most successful practitioners of the long game understand that wealth building is not a sprint or even a marathon. It's a lifestyle. They create systems and habits that naturally align daily behaviors with long-term objectives. This might mean setting aside the first hour of each day for wealth-building activities, establishing regular review periods for financial strategies, or maintaining a daily journal of financial observations and decisions. Technology and social media have programmed many of us to expect instant results and quick returns. But real wealth, the kind that sustains generations, operates on a different timeline. It grows through consistent application of sound principles, patient capital allocation, and strategic positioning. The daily moves we make are like planting seeds that may take years to bear fruit, but when they do, the harvest is abundant. Your ability to hold these two seemingly contradictory ideas, thinking long-term while acting daily, will largely determine your financial success. It requires developing both patience and urgency, vision and pragmatism, strategy and tactics. This mental discipline becomes easier with practice, as you begin to see how today's small actions connect to tomorrow's larger achievement. Every significant wealth builder started with a series of small, daily decisions that aligned with their long-term vision. They understood that wealth creation is both a marathon and a series of sprints, requiring both strategic patience and tactical urgency. By thinking in decades while moving in days, you create an unstoppable momentum that builds lasting wealth. Chapter 11. Don't flaunt, fortify. True wealth builders understand a fundamental truth. Every dollar displayed is a dollar vulnerable. The act of flaunting wealth isn't just a matter of poor taste, it's a strategic error that can undermine years of careful financial planning. The most successful wealth accumulators often appear indistinguishable from their middle-class neighbors, driving modest vehicles and living in reasonable homes, while their net worth quietly compounds in the background. This discretion isn't about false modesty or fear, it's about intelligent wealth management. When you flaunt your financial success, you create unnecessary pressure points in your wealth-building journey. Displays of prosperity attract attention from various quarters: opportunists seeking to separate you from your money, friends and family members who suddenly need loans, and competitors who gain insights into your financial position that they can use to their advantage. The energy and resources devoted to maintaining an image of wealth could be better invested in actually building wealth. Consider the psychological toll of constantly managing appearances, the financial drain of premium brands and luxury items, and the time spent curating a wealthy persona on social media. These activities don't contribute to your net worth, they actively detract from it. Instead of flaunting, focus on fortification. This means strengthening your financial foundation through diversification, risk management, and strategic investments. It means building multiple income streams that operate quietly in the background while you maintain a modest public profile. It means investing in assets that appreciate rather than appreciating, status symbols that require constant maintenance and replacement. The most powerful aspect of fortification is its compound effect over time. While others exhaust their resources maintaining appearances, you're reinforcing your financial position through careful asset allocation, tax planning, and opportunity cultivation. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle where each fortification step generates resources for further strengthening. The wealthy who understand this principle often practice what could be called strategic understatement. They intentionally downplay their financial success, knowing that anonymity is a powerful tool for wealth preservation. This approach allows them to move through the world with less friction, make deals without inflated expectations, and maintain genuine relationships uncomplicated by money dynamics. Consider the practical advantages of fortification over flaunting. When economic conditions deteriorate, those who've invested in fortification have multiple layers of protection, emergency funds, diverse income streams, and strong credit positions. Those who prioritize flaunting often find themselves struggling to maintain their lifestyle and image, sometimes forcing liquidation of assets at precisely the wrong time. The digital age has made this principle more relevant than ever. Social media creates constant pressure to display success through carefully curated images of luxury and abundance. Resisting this pressure requires strong conviction in the fortification mindset. It means understanding that true financial security comes from what you build, not what you show. This doesn't mean living like a miser or denying yourself every pleasure. Rather, it's about making conscious choices that prioritize long-term financial strength over short-term social approval. It's about finding satisfaction in watching your net worth grow rather than in watching others react to displays of your wealth. The path to lasting wealth is often invisible to outside observers. While others are buying status symbols and posting about their latest luxuries, the true wealth builder is quietly reinforcing their financial position, expanding their knowledge, and creating systems that generate sustainable wealth. They understand that fortification isn't just about protecting what you have, it's about creating a strong foundation for future growth. Chapter 12. Privacy is the richest covenant. In a world obsessed with sharing, oversharing, and digital exhibitionism, privacy has become one of the most valuable and scarce commodities. The wealthiest people understand that privacy isn't just about secrecy, it's about creating a protected space where wealth can grow undisturbed, unscrutinized, and uncompromised. Privacy in wealth building operates like a greenhouse for your financial garden. Inside this controlled environment, your investments, decisions, and strategies can develop without external pressures or interference. When others don't know the extent of your resources, you maintain the freedom to maneuver without unwanted attention or unsolicited advice. This autonomy becomes increasingly precious as your wealth grows. The digital age has created unprecedented challenges for maintaining financial privacy. Every transaction leaves a digital footprint, every purchase creates a data point, and every financial move can be tracked, analyzed, and potentially exploited. Smart wealth builders understand this landscape and take deliberate steps to minimize their digital exposure while maximizing their privacy shields. They use secure communication channels, maintain separate personal and business profiles, and carefully manage their online presence. The relationship between privacy and security cannot be overstated. When your financial position becomes public knowledge, you become a target not just for obvious threats like theft or fraud, but for subtle forms of exploitation. Friends and family may adjust their expectations, business partners might alter their terms, and strangers could emerge with enticing but dangerous propositions. Privacy acts as your first line of defense against these external pressures. Consider privacy as a form of compound interest for your peace of mind. Each piece of financial information you protect adds another layer of security to your wealth-building journey. This accumulated privacy creates a buffer zone between your actual financial position and the world's perception of it. This gap becomes your operational space, where you can make decisions based on your true circumstances rather than others' expectations or judgments. The most successful wealth builders treat privacy as an active practice rather than a passive state. They regularly audit their information exposure, carefully vet their professional relationships, and maintain strict boundaries between their public and private lives. They understand that every piece of financial information shared is a potential vulnerability, and they weigh the benefits of disclosure against its risks. Privacy extends beyond just protecting numbers in a bank account. It encompasses your investment strategies, business plans, financial goals, and even your daily spending habits. When you maintain privacy in these areas, you protect yourself from the subtle influences that can derail your wealth-building journey: the well-meaning advice, the social pressure to spend, the competitive urges to match others' visible success. The power of privacy lies in its ability to create space for authentic decision-making. When your financial moves aren't subject to public scrutiny, you can focus on what truly matters, building sustainable, long-term wealth rather than maintaining appearances or meeting others' expectations. This freedom to operate according to your own timeline and strategy is invaluable in achieving your financial goals. Privacy isn't about complete isolation or paranoid secrecy. It's about strategic discretion, knowing what to share, when to share it, and with whom. The goal is to maintain enough transparency to operate effectively in the world while protecting the core elements of your wealth-building strategy. This balance allows you to build relationships and seize opportunities without compromising your financial security. Those who master the art of privacy understand that it's not just about protecting what you have, it's about creating the conditions for future growth. When your wealth-building efforts are shielded from unnecessary attention, they can develop naturally and sustainably. This protected environment becomes the foundation for generational wealth, allowing you to focus on long-term value creation rather than short-term perception management.